Hi, everybody. This is Gayle, and welcome to my channel. We're talking today about healthcare on the road. So we're talking about what are some of your healthcare options if you're doing van life or if you're in an RV. But we're also going to talk about some tips to helping you get some of the best care possible. Now, let me start off by saying that this is not advice. These are ideas and things that I have done that have helped tremendously. And to give you some background, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of my disabilities and some of the healthcare challenges that I have run into, and also some of the solutions that I have found. So I'm going to talk about some apps and all kinds of things that could help. And we have already been joined by Overwatch Central. Hi, Overwatch Central. I hope you're having a good day, and I want to welcome you to the channel. You are the first one in today, so you're going to be getting a shout out. So I'm going to do that right after the broadcast. And thank you very much for coming in. So Overwatch Central. I'm writing you down. Fairy Anna Vlogs is here. Hi, Fairy Anna. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. So, and I've got a tweet coming in. Let me see. 2 tweets. Oh, okay. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm saying tweets. It's text messages. Okay. All right. This is my daughter. She's texting in to say she's not going to be here, but she wanted to say hello. So hello from Stellar Piper today. We are also joined by Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man the Hero. Hope you're having a good day too. Oh, and there's another one. Okay, this is relating to what we're talking about, so I'm going to leave this up here for a second. So if you all are doing well, we're starting off. We got an update from Fairy Anna. She has been working on her own health, and check out this update. Her weigh-in today, and she is down 25 pounds. So, woo! Congratulations, Fairy Anna. You're rocking it. Absolutely. And thank you for sharing us on social media. I appreciate it. I just got alert that you did that. So thank you very, very much. So we're doing some Travel Tuesday trivia live streams, as you all know, on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And I also want to give you, in addition to that, some tips and hints that will maybe help you. So some trivia, some tips and hints, and always we're doing shout outs. Now, Overwatch Central was here first, so I'm going to be shouting Overwatch Central out on Twitter. And all right, one member of my healthcare team has just pranced himself in here. Let me introduce you, for those of you who don't know. Tomlin, you going to say hi this morning? This critter is my service dog. So good morning. He's still waking up. Bless his heart. He's been up most of the night because I was up a lot of the night. So there he goes. So one of the things I get to do when I'm on the road is not just take care of me, but take care of him, because he's fuzzy, he's cuddly, he's cute, but he's a medical device. So we're going to talk about him and finding some health care for him and kind of some of the things that I do. And we have also been joined by John's Off-Grid Try-On Solar. So hi, John, and welcome. Happy Trails Hiking. It's popped in. She can't stay long. Thank you very much for sharing with your group on Twitter. Appreciate that, because your shout outs about my channel and what we're doing really help, and I appreciate it. And John's Off-Grid Try-On Solar said that he's stopping by, so thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, Fairy Anna's vlog. Aw, sleepy pup. He is. We're going to talk about him some. And Fairy Anna is saying hi to John. And Peter Parker is saying my puppy needs a cup of coffee. He probably does. I don't know. Do they make doggy coffee? If they do, he probably does need some. By the bowl, right? All right. So some healthcare options on. Whoa, there goes my text again. Okay, I'm getting it. All right. So you guys who followed my channel, you know that I travel extensively. I've been across the United States on more road trips than I can count, and I've traveled across Canada on the way to driving to Alaska. So some of the challenges that I've overcome will hopefully help you on your next road trip or travel adventure, or maybe even finding health care and getting better health care near you. All right. So some of the things about getting the best health care that you can involve preparation. And it's those little things that do add up. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get, hi, John is off grid. Try on Solar is saying hi to all. So yeah. So one of the first things you want to do is get organized. And I know I hate getting organized. I am not good at it. Peter Parker is reminding me it's going to be 10 months until Christmas. Peter Parker loves Christmas. I get hives. See, I'm shaking. But scratching from hives. Ooh. Okay. Christmas is a very stressful time for me. Lots of reasons. So thank you, Peter Parker, for that reminder. Okay. And Fariana says, LOL, Valentine's is in 10 days. There you go. One holiday at a time. So Valentine's Day in 10 days. I've got a big trip coming up in less than that. So lots going on in February. And I think Peter Parker is trying to remind us about the 10 months until Christmas so we can go ahead and start getting started for that. What do you all think? So cute, so cute. All right. Getting organized is a pain in the patootie. But if you're trying to get good health care on the road, we're not talking about just finding physicians or how to find a doctor near me when I'm traveling, or how to find a medical clinic with van life. But Peter Parker says you're welcome. It's awesome. All right. Getting organized helps you know what you can pinpoint some of your obstacles if you get organized enough ahead of time, because some of the gaps in your own coverage, and I'm not talking about necessarily health insurance coverage, although we'll talk about that in a minute, but just your health, some of the gaps in your health care coverage in general become apparent when you start getting organized, or at least it was for me. So one of the first things, I'm going to take this from the bottom up. One of my first things is this leg brace, okay? And I get to wear this every day of my life. It's just the way that goes. But for me, when I'm traveling, one of the things that's a real pain in the patootie, and this is shifting, so I got to fix that, is the top portion of my leg brace has this part to it, and it goes onto the leg brace, and it wraps all the way around. So for me to be traveling, I have to keep up with where I can find someone who carries this, and I have to carry extra parts. I also have to develop a workaround. I go through a couple of these, 3, 4 things of these sometimes in a year, and insurance does not cover it. It makes me so mad. It covers the brace, but it won't cover these replacement parts, and they're like $80 each. So I had to find a workaround, and that's simply adding Velcro to this whole piece and extending the life. But shoes are real important. And I know it's Velcro, and I hate that, but Velcro allows me, when my feet are swelling, to adjust the stress on my foot, which helps me walk better, because if I don't walk good, I fall. And when I fall, as I did last year in February, I don't know if I really want to say that. I don't want to jinx myself. But anyway, last year in February, I fell. I was coming out, going to a meeting about, guess what? Travel. And I fell. My brace didn't quite do the job that you hope for it to do, because I was coming out of the house. I put my foot on the step wrong. Boom, I go over. And that's when we found out I broke my ankle. So what do you do when you break your ankle? And then later we found out that not only did I break my ankle, but I tore the heck out of my shoulder. So I had to decide what to do about it. I know, Fairy Anna, she says she hates that insurance doesn't cover important stuff. Oh, I agree. I could go on that rant for weeks. And Happy Trails Hiking says anything you can do to help get around is a great thing. And she is so right on the money. And it's not just the leg brace, but if I go walking on a hike or a trail or any kind of uneven ground, in addition to having my dog here who can get help if I need it, I always have a walking stick. And if I don't have him with me, I'm either traveling with somebody who knows about my health conditions and can get help for me, or I have got information on me to help with that. So very, very important. And that's part of being prepared. You have to constantly be thinking one step ahead of time, because finding medical care on the road, it really does start with prevention. So if you can prevent something from happening, I know we don't often think about that, but that if you can prevent it from happening, then you don't need the health care. So at least not while you're on the road. Our Haunted Travels just came in. Hey, says hello there, Gayle Crabtree, and everyone in the chat. Hoping everyone is having a great day today. And I think we are. I do. And our Haunted Travels, Panic, thanks for coming. Absolutely. And Fairy Anna says, I need to go to CVS and pick up my meds. LOL. Absolutely. I've got a notice on that myself. We're going to talk about that. All right. So being organized, really realizing some of your needs, and being organized can include, I made this. Woo! I can't hardly pick it up. I made this pouch for some of my medications. It all is in there, so it's nice and neat. And if I have to go to a doctor or someplace, oh, that's heavy. If I have to go to a doctor or someplace when I'm on the road, then I've got medications with me that I can just unfurl, because the doctor's offices often say, bring your medicines with you. It's a real pain to do that. If you've got more than will fit in like a Ziploc baggie. So here it's nice, neat, it's organized. One of the things with me is I have severe asthma and I have severe allergies, and I can't always talk. And so for me, it's a big deal to be able to have the medicines organized and with me. Also printing out a list from the pharmacy and adjusting that, or keeping some kind of list in paper printed format is very helpful. I also email a copy of that to myself or put it on Google Drive. You can use Dropbox, someplace where if you need to print out a second copy of it, you can do so. Our Haunted Travel says, here is my tip. I carry a man purse with meds, LOL. Never know what is going to hurt or digestive issues. Totally on target there. Happy Trails Hiking is saying that's a great tip to have what you need. Yes. You also, if you know you're going on a trip and you have a regular physician, you can work it out with your doctor to be able to where you can just call in and say, this is what's going on. I'm going to go to XYZ place. I'm going to pick on myself driving to Alaska. I was able to go in, talk to my doctor right before I left. I scheduled an appointment for like literally a week before I hit the road. And I went in and I told her, you know, I'm driving to Alaska. What do you think we should do? And her, knowing me, was like, let's get you a steroid pack to take with you. Let's make sure you're up to date on your inhalers. And she gave me an inhaler to use on the trip, just a sample that she had in the office, which was great because on my way up through Alaska, I was driving through heavy smoke from all those forest fires. And there was one point I was driving through and I had fire on both sides of the road. And the local emergency folks from Forestry Service was just waving us on through. So I had to be ready to combat some of that smoke if I started coughing severely and got where I couldn't breathe or talk. So the preventative on that is to have a good primary care physician that you have a good relationship with. So that way, if you can plan ahead of time. And if you can't, you can set it up to where you can just call her and remind her and say, hey, you know, we talked about this a week and a half ago. This is what's going on. You know, maybe your blood sugar is too high, or you've got another health challenge that has raised its head. First, after prevention, your next best thing is to have a good, solid relationship with your medical care provider. But unfortunately, you don't always have that. Some medical providers can be really hesitant to dive in if they can't see you. So you've got some options there when you're traveling. And of course, we're all familiar with walk-in medical clinics. Some of these are minor emergency clinics also. But in addition to your traditional walk-in medical clinics, some of your drugstore locations can help you out. I know CVS has a medical clinic right there in the pharmacy area, and not all locations, but a lot of the locations. And also there are these other little clinics like that that are in the pharmacies. So you can get on your local website for your pharmacy and find out, you know, if there's something like that near you and where it would be. Your pharmacist, other than your doctor, a next good source of information comes from your pharmacist herself or himself, because you can call and you can say, I'm looking for a clinic near me. I can't find anything on the computer. Can you help me out? And they can get on their system and help you find it. So let's say you're driving along, you start feeling bad, or it just gets to the point where maybe you've got a cold and it's getting worse, and you've got bronchitis, or you're concerned you're developing a flu, but you don't know where to go. So with me, I've been in areas where I could not access the data on my phone, but I could make a call. So in that situation, I could call my local pharmacist at home and say, hey, can you help me here? And so far, I have not had any problems with a pharmacist not being able to help me. Also, going into a pharmacy, if you have a national pharmacy, I use Walgreens a lot because pretty much wherever I am, there's a Walgreens either in that area or nearby. And like, let's pick on Anchorage. I can tell you where 2 Walgreens pharmacies are in Anchorage. I can tell you where the one in Soldotna is right there on the highway. I can tell you where the one in Fairbanks is, for an example. And I can tell you about Memphis too, where some of them are. But I can go in there and tell a pharmacist what my symptoms are, and they can help guide me on what medications I need. Also, the pharmacist can say, hey, you know, I really think you need a physician. especially if you're in an area where there's a physician right there in the pharmacy. The other thing they can do, oh, good, thank you. I'm glad that tip's helpful. Another thing that they can do is sometimes there are medications that are available behind the counter that you don't know about. I was in Virginia and was just so sick, and I was with somebody else who could do the driving. And I went into the pharmacy and I'm like, look, it's a weekend. And not only that, of course, it's a holiday weekend because that's when crises always happen in my life. It's always a holiday weekend. And even when I fell in February, it was a holiday. Crazy, right? So I'm in and I'm talking to this pharmacist in Virginia, and they were able to pull up my healthcare information for what medications that I was on. And that's when I found out that this pharmacy had a couple of things behind the counter that were not out and they were not really advertised. And he's like, look, I've got this cough syrup. I can give you some. You don't need a prescription, but you're kind of on that ragged edge. So if you need something stronger, you're going to need a prescription. But he had that behind the counter. He was able to sell me a few ounces of it, and it really helped. So two good things, have that relationship with primary care. And the other thing is to, like I said, use the nationwide pharmacy and actually go in and talk to the pharmacist. At Walgreens, they have this area for consultation. And a lot of times we think that that's the window that we step over to just to get information about the current medications that we're on. But as I just said, it goes a lot deeper than that. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, and that's like, you're not always in an area, even if you're at a nationwide pharmacy. Health issues and plumbing, always on holiday, says our haunted travels. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Could not agree more. But yeah, that just brought to mind something, and my brain just went out the window there. Definitely on the plumbing issue. And yes, that even happens in vans. I won't talk about how I know that. So, but when you see the consultation window, don't hesitate to go over and ask the pharmacist about what medications are available for what your current healthcare challenge is. That's also how I found out that there are some over-the-counter medications that will help with an asthma attack. And like, I've dealt with asthma for decades, but I didn't know that. But I was having a lot of trouble coughing. I was starting to wheeze some. I didn't want to try finding a walk-in clinic. The pharmacy was able to help me with that. But there are times when you're out and your nationwide pharmacy is not in the area where you are when you need something. And that's kind of scary. I'll just tell you. Yes, our haunted travels is laughing. Yeah. But anyway, I'll just tell you real quick. I was out in an area. I was in the camper van, and I was having problems with the plumbing on the sink. And again, it was definitely the holiday weekend. But I got it taken care of. The folks at Lowe's are really, really nice, especially if you don't know what you're looking for. And yeah. Okay. Anyhow, back to topic. Yeah, one of my things is attention deficit disorder. It's just the way life goes. But you're in it. Let's say you're in an area where there is not a nationwide pharmacy that you use. And let's say you're in a mom and pop area. It can still be the same deal there. Go in, talk to the pharmacist, and say, hey, I'm traveling. I need a refill of XYZ medication, or this is what my symptoms are. What can you do for me? and they can call your pharmacy and get a prescription transferred. Also, they can call. Oh, there you go, Happy Trails. She says, shout out to Lowe's plumbing specialist. I used to be one. Yes. They are. The person that helped me at Lowe's that weekend, I'll just say, was just extra mile phenomenal. Super helpful. But on the pharmacy, you can go into the local pharmacy and say, hey, this is what's going on. Can you help me, and how? And then they can call your local pharmacy. They can find out everything that you're on. So let's say you don't have a list or you don't have a pharmacy kit, then they can call and get that. They can also call your doctor's office should they need to. And they can work it out for medication transfer, or they can also look at your meds and make suggestions based on that, because you always want to be careful traveling, especially not to take a medicine that conflicts with what you're already on. And with me, sometimes I have let my guard down on that, and I have had some problems. Case in point, I was taking Theophylline one time, and I was also having some stomach problems from, guess what? The medications. So I go into the pharmacy, and I'm stupid. I don't go, Happy Trail says, sorry, I'm going to miss trivia. I have to go. Have a great week. You too. I guess you're getting ready for your live stream. Okay. Happy Trails does a travel trivia live stream also. And if you're getting ready for that, then after this stream, you can jump over and say hi to her on her live stream. So Happy Trails, I hope that goes well. But there again, your pharmacist can guide you and help you a lot. With my case, I was taking Theophylline, and I tend to let my guard down, and I went into the pharmacy and I just picked something on my own, and I grabbed that Tagamet thinking that that was the right thing because I had taken Tagamet once before, and boom, it worked against my Theophylline, and I dang near landed in the hospital because the levels of the Theophylline combined with the Tagamet went a little toxic. Not an ideal situation. So especially if you're on a bunch of meds, certainly if you're traveling or even if you're at home, double check. It's just that a lot of times we're on vacation and we're having fun, and we let our guard down. And when we let our guard down, that's when something happens. The other thing is, we talked about walk-in clinics, and, there are the traditional walk-in clinics and the ones that are at the pharmacy. I think we talked about that. Also, minor emergency clinics. These are oftentimes associated with a hospital. So you can contact, like if you come out of your door and you fall, you can contact the hospital referral line. And every major hospital has one, and call them and tell them what's happened. And they can give you a referral to a injury clinic, or sometimes even a walk-in clinic that will be associated with that hospital. So it's really good, especially if you're near like a major teaching hospital. Just grab your cell phone, go online and check it out and get that referral. Obviously, there's an emergency department as a resort that you can turn to, but there is a huge variety in emergency departments. You have your major trauma centers that can handle super duper stuff, but your smaller community hospitals may not have everything that you need. For example, I'm living in this little teeny tiny town, and we have a basic emergency department, and we have a not kidding here, 2-bedroom hospital. So we know if we need something major that we can't go to that little hospital. But if we have the cold, the flu, symptoms like that, then our local small ER can be helpful. So, why do I mention this? Well, if you're traveling and you're in an area like, let's say, Alaska, or you're in a very rural area of, let's say, Utah or Arizona, you may not have access to those major hospitals. So you can go into the local ER, I've done this, and tell them what your symptoms are and just ask them, is this something you usually treat? Or would I be better off going to another facility? And both times I've had to do that, they've been very straight up with me and they have told me. So, and I'm talking about your small, very small community hospitals here, for that serve small rural hospitals. So obviously, if I'm in a major city, I'm going to pick a hospital that's near me. The other thing is, going back to your pharmacy to help you find healthcare. If you are not sure where to go in the area for your healthcare need, go in and talk to a pharmacist, whether it's, a mom and pop pharmacist or your national chain, and say, look, I am just sick, and they can help you find something and make that referral. So real quick, there's a couple of apps that I like to use. Oh yeah, and speaking of pharmacy, back up, you can also get text reminders like I got a few minutes ago to let you know, hey, your prescription's due, and that you can start then looking for a place on the road. A couple of apps that can be helpful are Doctor Finder, OpenMed, and MD Live. Now, the really neat thing about MD Live is it's an internet-based doctor, and you have that option as well. And I've used MD Live a couple of times, and I will tell you that my experiences with MD Live have been very, very positive. That gives me access to a physician 24 hours a day that's online, and they can access my prescriptions. They send a report to my primary care physician. So if I'm out someplace and I can't act by a physician, let's say I don't know where the medical clinics are, or if I'm at, like, let's say 3 a.m. and I am feeling terrible and I really don't want to go out at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, then I can get on the phone, get on the internet, with the app and pull it up. They'll take my insurance, and it even says skip the waiting room. So they take my insurance, and I can set up with them, and they've got it worked out where, payments for copays and whatnot. So when you set up with this, you actually you create your account, and then you go online, but you actually get an appointment. And I know that kind of messes with your mind sometimes. I know it did mine the first time. So you have an appointment on an internet doctor, and you can either wait or they will call you back. The contact with MD Live, you can do voice, or you can do video. Now, I prefer video because they actually can see me, and they can provide. Now they can't do broken bones, but they can do medications for like sore throats, flu, etc., that you would use for a healthcare clinic. They have been really easy to work with, knowledgeable. They've all spoken English very, very well. I've actually not had a foreign doctor. Several times I've gotten a doctor that was in their office after hours. So I was able to speak with a physician through the app. Also, one time I had an abscess tooth. So that started developing. and I was in a place where there was not a dentist anywhere around. MD Live was able to help me. They want you to send in photos. So if you have a sore throat, they want a photo of that. Or if you have the abscess, they want a photo of that. And sometimes it's challenging to take that picture with your smartphone, but they want it. It gets you the best medical care possible. So you've got to do it, even though you kind of become a contortionist sometimes. I have personally, like I said, been very, very comfortable and feel like I've gotten good care from MD Live. And they were able both times to contact the pharmacy and send that medication prescription in. So all I had to do was swing by and pick up the antibiotics and the steroids. Really helpful there. So I hope this helps. Leave your comments in the description box below. So let me know your tips and hints. So if you're dealing with a leg brace, how do you find those parts on the road? With me, I keep the card from the orthotic company where I got this, and they can refer me. That's how I found out that there's actually a place in Anchorage that I can go to for parts. So very helpful there. Also, another thing, right quick before I go, travel size tools, okay? For asthma, I sometimes have to have a breathing machine. I don't want to lug one of those giant machines around. So several years ago, they're talking with the pharmacist, and they set me up with a respiratory care company. I was able to get this little pocket size nebulizer that I can carry with me. And it's, not too much bigger than the palm of my hand. This part just flips out, put the medicine in here. I'm good to go. Handy little gadget. So anything that's travel sized that you can get just makes life easier. This one fits in a small pouch. If I don't want to take the pouch, obviously I can just take this, and there's an electrical cord that I use to keep it all going. Some of these are really nice, and they have battery packs. I have the electrical cord because wherever I am, I've got electricity. I've got a little adapter that I carry in the car. So if I need a nebulizer, I've got one that's right there really handy. So if you have a chronic condition and you need equipment, something like a nebulizer, for example, contact them. So there we go. Any other suggestions that you have, do leave those in the comments below. And thank you all so much for watching. Always, # #Bodacious. Don't let life get in the way of living. Look and see what you can do and what your challenges are, and figure out a way to go around them so you can live life to your fullest. And I hope my experiences have helped. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day. I will see you Saturday at 7 and Tuesday at 10. Bye. Oh, one quick thing, I'm getting reminded here. My dog, service dog, we have him set up with Banfield. Banfield is a nationwide vet care clinic, and they have a 24-hour number. So if something should come up with him and I don't know what to do, like when we were in Canada and he was attacked by another dog and I didn't know where to go in Canada, boom, I was able to find out and get some help and talk to the vet. So I keep all of his medications with me. I keep a printout of his medications, as far as, I'm sorry, not medications, but as far as his shots, what he's had, when he's had them, and so forth. So, because he's a medical device, and I have to keep him in the best condition possible so he can work for me. So there you go. And again, thanks for watching. Always # #Bodacious. Don't let life get in the way of living. Hopefully, some of my experiences with the leg brace, medications, chronic health needs will help you to leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section below. And thank you. And don't forget to share this on your social media. Thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.